You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
AfterBuzz TV presents Chatting with Cathy. Sit-down interviews with Hollywood's leading actors, artists, and entrepreneurs. And now, your host of Chatting with Cathy, Cathy Kelly.
Hello everyone, Bing is for doing, and today we are doing another interview on Chatting with Cathy right here on AfterBuzzTV.com. Today's guest, Brett Davern, has many credits to his name, but most notably one of the stars of MTV's scripted series Awkward. But some might argue that your most notable role, or best one, was when you were your manager's assistant and you used to use a fake name to call and submit yourself to casting directors.
Guilty.
That is what got your foot in the door. Well, Brett, thank you so much for coming in today. I love that story, by the way. I want to talk about it later.
Wow, you do your research.
Yeah.
Guilty as charged. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, well, I used to just call casting directors as Brent. With an N, yeah.
Sounds like Brett.
Yeah, so that if they called back and talked to my real manager and asked for Brent, he would just think, maybe they got it wrong or something, or they misheard or something like that. So it was very diabolical.
Very thought through.
Oh yeah, it was diabolical.
Oh my gosh.
But it worked. And here I am. So, I mean, you gotta, I think in any field or career or anything that you're trying to do, you gotta take risks. You gotta put yourself out there. It's not like, I'm calling with a fake name, but I'm not like, breaking the law or anything like that. I'm just trying to put my best foot forward, and who can sell yourself better than yourself, right? So,
I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Took a risk.
Mm-hmm. And it paid off.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
So you grew up in Washington State and got started in theater very early on while you were in elementary school. First play around 4th grade?
Yeah, 4th or 5th grade, the musical Tom Sawyer.
Yeah.
And there's a VHS tape of it somewhere.
Really?
At my parents' house. Oh, yeah. And, it's just that I was always kind of performing, like, even, younger than that. Like, always, grandparents would be over for dinner or something, and my parents would, sing us a song or, whatever, get up in front of us and perform, tell a joke, whatever. And so I was always kind of getting that attention and loving it. And then the and then you're in the right age for the school play, and my mom's like, you should go audition for that, and I'm like, I don't even know what that means, but let's give it a shot. And had a few lines. I was not Tom or Huck or any of that, but just one of the like little towns boys, and had a few lines. And I think the first time you get a laugh or you hear that applause and you get bit by the bug, that's what everyone says, right?
Yeah.
So and that definitely happened to me, and that's how it all began.
That's how you were you passionate about it from the first time you were in a play, or?
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it was really fun, not just the performing aspect of it, but everything, the getting into a costume and the sets and watching this thing come to life. And the elementary school and middle school that I went to, it actually was a kindergarten through 8th grade program, so you got to go to the school for a while. And they was a very small school, no sports teams, no nothing like that, but they put on these amazing musicals, and actually they still do it. It's called Madrona K through 8 up in Edmonds, Washington, and Mark Press is the director up there. He's still doing it, and they put on these shout out. But they put on these amazing productions. I mean, the parents really get behind it. A lot of volunteer hours, and I mean, they're bigger than most of the high schools in the area productions.
Wow.
So so it was one of those things where it was just kind of, this is what you do when you go to that school, and so
your parents were very supportive. I've heard that they showed up to pretty much every performance, not just opening night.
Yeah, we would do maybe like 4 performances, I think, like a Thursday through Sunday.
Yeah.
And most parents would show up maybe opening night and closing night or something like that. My parents were there every night. My dad was taking pictures, no flash. so as to not get in trouble. But taking photos and making albums, and they're recording it on their camcorder.
Now it's so much easier.
all those
Parents
types of
have it
things.
so easy with the
Yeah.
iPhones, and they can just whip out their cameras.
Yeah, maybe that's why they were at every performance, because with no digital cameras, it was like, was that in focus? I better go back tomorrow night. Maybe that's why.
Or they
Maybe
just
that's the
needed to
secret.
commit it to memory because they couldn't
Yeah.
pull it up on.
Yeah, no, they were very supportive. My brother, I have a younger brother who's 2 years younger, and he was always in them as well. And so they were just very supportive of us, as children, and still are. And they're the best.
Cool. Well, you didn't have sports in elementary school, but you did play football
Yes.
very briefly in high school.
Very briefly.
I've heard you joke that you were the smallest kid on the team.
Yeah, speaking of like home movies and photos and stuff, I know that in my parents' house there is a photo of a huddle of freshman football, and there's like all the guys, and then it dips down, and then there's me, and I swear the top of my helmet is maybe at their shoulders.
Oh
I
my
mean, I
gosh.
was tiny, maybe like less than 5 feet tall, maybe 100 pounds soaking wet. So I didn't play very much. I had a few tackles, which was basically just holding on to some guy's ankles until the rest of the team showed up. That's how I got my tackles.
It's a team
But-
effort.
Yeah, it's a team sport, right? But I'm a huge sports fan, so yeah.
And you still do sports now, or?
Yeah,
Just boredom?
I mean, I snowboard. I'm active. I play basketball at the gym, things like that. But it's not like I'm gonna be going pro anytime soon.
More so a fan of
Anything.
those.
Yeah, exactly.
teams.
Yeah.
Cool. So I know you had the opportunity while in school to attend Stagedoor Manor
Yeah.
in upstate New York, which is a theater camp and has an impressive list of alum from Natalie Portman, Zach Braff, Robert Downey Jr., and you.
Well,
What was that experience like?
it was amazing. I mean, just to be mentioned in the same sentence as those people, which has never happened, but thank you, is really humbling, and it's really awesome. Another shout out quickly to a teacher of mine named David Quinn, who was actually an English teacher at the high school that I went to. And our theater director at that school, Bruce Mint, who's also an amazing teacher. I was, always doing theater like we've been talking about. And this teacher, David Quinn, had gone to Stagedoor when he was a kid. And he grew up in New York and the East Coast and things. And so he was an actor, a child actor and everything. And so he came to the plays, and he was looking for someone to send to this camp. And, in theater, there's not a lot of boys usually. So I guess I sort of stood out maybe in one of the plays or something. And he came up when I was a sophomore to me and just said, there's this camp, and we can maybe get you a scholarship, and we can send you over there. And of course I was in.
Yeah.
I think my parents were scared to death of, their 15-year-old son getting on a plane and going to New York by himself. But they let me go, and I mean, thank God every day that they did, because I wouldn't be here without Stagedoor Manor. I mean,
Really?
it was it was, it's a theater camp, but it's theater and that's it. And so, from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, you're in rehearsals, you're dancing, you're singing, you're acting. They put on a full-scale production of, they do maybe 12 plays around the camp, but you're in one of them. And they put on a full-scale production in 3 weeks. The last 4 or 5 days are just performances, so really like 2.5 weeks to put up a full show. And it's a lot of New York directors and New York acting coaches, and the teachers and everything come up from New York and do it. And it's just great. It was a great proving ground, and a lot of my best friends are friends that I made while I was there, and they're still my best friends, and they're it's fun to watch everybody's careers grow. And
A lot of people
it's
who
really
are
cool.
in the industry right now as well.
Yeah, I'm running. It's interesting too, because they have 3 sessions throughout the summer. So, sometimes I would only go 1 session, maybe 2. So you miss people as well. But it's interesting going through this life of being an actor and kind of running into people, and you start talking, and they're like, "Yeah, I went to Stagedoor." It's like, "Oh, me too. Wow, what session?" And you just have this common bond. It's like this fraternity of actors, and it's really cool. It's really special, and I'm really proud to be a part of it.
Yeah. Was Sebastian Stan there during
Sebastian
your time?
Stan went there when
Lea
I was there. Yeah,
Michele.
Lea Michele. Again, like, I don't know with Lea Michele, I'm not sure if we were there the same session. Sebastian and I lived next door to each other for 3 summers in a row, and
That's crazy.
he's a really good friend. So yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah. Many kids participate in theater when they're younger, but when was that moment when you kind of decided this is what you wanted to pursue as your career?
Well, honestly, going back to Stagedoor, it was when I was there. I went and did my first summer there, had an amazing experience, flew back to Seattle, and, school started up. I think I was going into my junior year of high school, and so school starting back up again. And my family and I are just watching TV one night. I think we were watching Law & Order, and there's one of my friends from Stagedoor, guest starring on Law & Order. And it was really that moment where I was like, oh, I could do this. Like, there's a friend of mine. I know this guy, I know we're kind of on this, same talent level. We're in all the same classes, all these kinds of things. And so if I can just, get to New York or get to LA and get that opportunity, I know that this could be a possibility. And so, yeah. So it was maybe right then.
Was there ever any pressure, or were you intimidated when you were at camp and you were like, oh, well, this person's been on TV before, this person's been in commercials? Or did, being so young, you just didn't recognize that?
I think at first, I don't know if pressure is the right word. I think it's more just like, I don't know, maybe I'm weird. I've never really felt that kind of pressure. I just more felt like inspired and like maybe just this kind of like, I don't know, inspiration to like hold my own a little bit. Like, oh, I can do this too. Let me get up there and show you what I can do. And it was, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe a little bit of pressure, but I think pressure is a good thing, in a lot of ways, especially in any career that you choose to do or any job. You always have someone who's pushing you. You always have the people who came before you. And then you also have the people that are in front of you that are working to be better than you. And so, anytime you're getting pushed in any field, I think it's a good thing. So, yeah.
After high school, you moved out to New York to pursue musical theater.
Yep.
And got a manager. We talked about this story briefly at the top of the interview, but I want you tell it better than I do, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, I moved to New York again. My parents probably were a little apprehensive, but again, the experience from Stagedoor pushing me towards New York. I just wanted to do musical theater, really, was my mindset of, singing and dancing and all these kinds of things. And so New York is the place to be as opposed to LA. So I auditioned for a school called AMDA, which is a conservatory in Manhattan, got in, went to New York, met up with all these friends that I had made at camp and stuff. And so it was a great little community there, but got out of school and got a manager, but didn't have a day job. And so basically was just talking to him one day, and I was telling him that I didn't have a day job. He said he didn't have anyone to answer his phones. I said, okay, fine. Started answering his phones. And then I just started realizing, like, well, these agents and casting directors and people are calling to ask for our clients, right? And I'm a client, so why not just start pushing myself?
It makes him money too.
Yeah,
so
exactly. You get a percentage, exactly. So, but I didn't know how he would feel about me being so aggressive and pushing myself. So I would kind of wait until he was out of the office. Yeah, but that being said, I was also cool because we had plenty of clients that were my age, and it was kind of cool to like get them jobs as well. And it's not like I was just working for myself. I was, helping to push forward everyone who was there. But yeah, Beautiful Ohio, one of the first indie films that I got. I remember calling the casting directors time and time again, and they were just like, saying no and no and no, and finally they just said, all right, fine, send him down. Yeah. And I ended up getting it. So
did your manager ever find out, or?
He is now.
Well, he found out now, yeah.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. He knew that when someone would call for a package of actors, I'd include myself in that if I was right for it. Yeah. It's not like I'm just, they
want
need
a 70-year-old woman.
Yeah,
like,
and I'm like, let me
see.
slip my headshot in there. I'm very versatile. No, so but he knew I was kind of pushing myself for that. So I don't think it's any big secret, but it's a fun story to tell.
Yeah. So. Speaking of Beautiful Ohio, that was Chad Lowe's directorial debut. Yeah. Your callback was in front of him and Hilary Swank.
Yeah, so I got myself the audition, well, sort of, with his help, and got the audition, and went on the audition, and I remember it was a day where I was going to fly back to Seattle for maybe it was the summertime or a vacation or something, and so I went on the audition and literally had my bags with me to leave to go to the airport, and I remember it was a time when I just hadn't gotten a job in a while, and I was just like, I'm just going to let this one go, whatever happens, happens, and I did the audition, and I flew to Seattle. And while I was in Seattle, I was there for maybe 2 weeks or something. And while in the middle of being there, they called and they said, you got a call back. You got to get back to New York right away. And I was like, you know, I've had callbacks before. I don't know, like, how serious is it? Like, I'm here with my family. It's a long flight. And they were like, no, like, this is the callback. It's you versus another guy for the role. You're reading with William Hurt, with Chad Lowe, Hilary Swank, da-da-da. And I was absolutely, like, dropped everything, jumped on a plane. And it's really kind of a blur. I was pretty delirious doing it, honestly, because I'd just gotten off this plane. I literally booked the flight back for just enough time to be there, I think, for the day.
Really?
Yeah, called up a friend I went to school with, Bobby, who is probably watching. Shout out to him as well, who came over and we read lines together and worked on it. And yeah, went in and did it. And I think, again, it's kind of that thing of, like, you asked about stage door, like, how do you feel about people who had jobs or whatever. Same thing here. I mean, you know, the guy I'm auditioning against, like, had plenty more of a resume than I did. But I think sometimes, like, ignorance is bliss. You know, you just kind of don't think about it.
You're not
and
tainted
just
by the
go
industry.
do it. Yeah, exactly. It was just kind of like, didn't really think about it. Just was like, well, I'll just go do the best I can. And I remember thinking, again, just kind of throwing everything away, that, well, if I don't get this job, at least I can write down that I had a master class with William Hurt, and then right under it I'll say a master class with Hilary Swank, and then under that I'll say a master class with Chad Lowe, and beef up the resume.
Is there ever a asterisk next to
there should have
resume?
been. There should be on there, yeah. But yeah, it was a great experience. I mean, William was really awesome in the callback. I remember we were sitting in the waiting room, and he came in, you know, to walk through the waiting room to go meet up with Chad and Hilary in the room and everything. And he brought Hilary like a huge bouquet of flowers.
Aww.
And brought Chad like something like some chocolates or I don't know, something. And I just remember thinking, like, wow, that's a professional right there. That's really cool. And
Bribery is
like,
how you get the
yeah,
role.
it's like, oh, all right, that's a really, you know, swanky move there.
Suave.
Yeah, so it was just cool. And he was just a really good guy, you know. Yeah, we did it twice in front of Hilary and Chad, and I don't know. I guess they liked it. So yeah.
I mean, incredible cast in that movie. Michelle Trachtenberg was also in it, and William played your father in the movie. I know you guys had a lot of downtime on set since it was sort of, you were like in a house.
Yeah, we filmed in a house in Brooklyn for maybe 5-6 weeks, something like that. And the whole movie basically takes place in that one location. There's a couple, maybe 1 or 2 days where we weren't there. So one of the first days he said, like, you know, bring a baseball tomorrow, or bring some mitts or something, or we should play catch. That's what fathers and sons do. And okay, great.
Father-son
you know?
bonding time.
Yeah, so we had that bonding time, and it was really cool. And I just, even still, I'm just a sponge, like walking around trying to soak up everything I can from the people who came before me, and because they know how to do it, and they've been doing it for so long. And so that's kind of what I mean by watching that he brought her flowers. Oh, okay, that's how you do things, you know. And it's really important to me. And so it was cool to sit around and just talk about his theater history, or funny Broadway stories that he had, or, you know, whatever. So he was cool. He was a great guy. Yeah, I love him to death. He's a good guy.
Since that was your first major role, what was the biggest thing that you learned while on set?
Oh man, well, like I said, musical theater was really my focus, or what I thought I was going to be doing. So this whole world of film was, I was just faking it till I make it.
You've done like a couple commercials. Or
a couple
like
commercials, a couple of after school special type deals, which I still get tweeted every once in a while, like, oh my God, I just saw you in my health class in some video. But those were not like really the real thing. I mean, this was like, you know, an actual film camera.
They were just to pay the bills.
Yeah, I mean, like listening, they're putting down marks, and I don't even know what that is. And, you know, like the DP telling me, like, well, make sure you don't put a shadow on this other actor. And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, so it was just, I mean, what I learned everything. I learned the business. Chad was really gracious about the other actor in the movie, David Call, who we played brothers, taking him and I aside and just kind of like, sort of just taking us under his wing and talking about what it is to be a young actor in the business, because like as he was in his early career. And so just a ton of life lessons, a ton of like on-set etiquette type deals. And yeah, it was really beneficial. So
cool.
Yeah, I don't know if we get into specifics.
It literally, I mean, it sounds like usually with people's first roles, they get their feet wet a little, but you literally jumped.
Yeah,
right
it was
into
just
everything.
thrown in. I mean, it's it was the lead of the movie really, and so I was there every day, all day, and there's a lot to learn. So it was pretty cool. And being thrown into the deep end. I mean, Michelle Trachtenberg and I had our love scene on the first day of filming, which
Really?
it was the first day, and I remember we went and did a rehearsal at Chad's house in Manhattan, and he was saying to us like, well, we're shoring up the schedule, but we think we're going to do you guys a love scene on the first day. And we're just both like, oh, okay. And for her, I mean, she'd been at it for so long that I'm sure she was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. But for me, I was like, oh, okay. But hey, whatever. You sink or you swim, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Worked out.
Yeah.
So shortly after this, you moved to LA, where your next role was Player 5150.
Yep.
And that stars, Ethan Embry is in it.
Yeah, another good cast. Ethan Embry.
Christopher McDonald.
Yep. I'm blanking on everyone's name right now.
How
This
did
is
you
so
get into
bad.
it?
Just another thing, another audition, another callback. When I moved out to LA, I actually had agents this time and things like that. So I was no longer calling people on my own behalf.
Did you jump into classes when you first moved out here? Or?
Not right away. Beautiful Ohio allowed me to get some good agents out here in LA, and so it was their suggestion, like, hey, move out here. This is where film and TV is more prevalent. So that's why I came out here, and I think, it wasn't like right away that I got that. It sounds that way.
Yeah.
But it really wasn't. There was maybe months and months that went by, and I think I just started auditioning and immersing myself in auditioning and going on everything that I could, and I kind of used that as my class, I guess. I was also just like had no money at all to spend on classes, which no one does. Like
they
every
tell
actor.
everyone that that's one of the worst things you could do is to use an audition as class, because then if you mess it up, then potentially you're ruining your relationship with a casting director.
Yeah.
But
I don't mean
it's clearly worked out for you. So
I guess I don't mean like using it as like a like so experimental. I more just mean going in, like, you'd get the sides and whatever, and I would read them over with an actor buddy or whatever, and so try to get it to where I thought it should be. And the years of Stagedoor, the years of school in New York and in high school, and I've been so lucky to have amazing teachers all the way through, and so just using what they taught me all those years, and so getting a scene to where I think it should be. And then what I mean by using an audition as class is going in, throwing that out there, and then using the feedback that the agents get or whatever to kind of tailor, the next audition or whatever. You know what I mean? Like getting feedback that's like, oh, I wish he would have been a little more this way or this or that. And going, okay, I'm going to change that for next time. And maybe it's not the best way to go about it, but
you're clearly the type that you learn from every situation that you're in.
Yeah, I think so.
So you learned from every casting that you went to.
Yeah, I think I just kind of pride myself on being aware of my surroundings and like what's going on, and being able to pick up on things quickly and be directable is very important. So and just being able to be quick on your feet, I think we did a ton of improv in high school and college and growing up and everything, and so that whole like kind of yes and thing of just being able to roll with whatever anyone gives you, I think is really important, especially in an audition setting. So maybe that helped out too.
I think so.
Anyway, I don't know. I'm still finding it though. We all are. It's
a
I'm
learning
auditioning
experience.
all the time.
We always say at AfterBuzz, Kaizen. It's a proverb which means consistently improving. So.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be. No one has it figured out.
No one's perfect.
No, not at all. Maybe that's the most important thing I've learned going along, and going back to Beautiful Ohio, like with William and everything. Everyone has a couple takes. No one's just one take and out of there. So yeah. Yeah,
and you were very lucky to have an incredible cast in your first movie. Did you think that auditioning would be easier since you had worked with such talented people?
Yeah, I'd love to sit here and be like, no, I kept it real and was like completely down to earth the whole time. No, you definitely get your head in the clouds a little bit, especially, again, I'd never had any experience with film at all. So this whole world of like indie films and how, oh, well, even though you shoot it, it has to come out was like, I had never thought about that. I was just like, oh, I'm in this movie. It's got this great cast, one foot in front of the other. This is going to be amazing from here on out, which it has been. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, I didn't realize there's that time where you have to wait and that thing has to get sold and then it has to do some festivals and then it has to maybe get a release or even just a DVD release and there's all this lag time in between. And so that was a learning experience as well. But yeah, I had those couple of weeks where I was like, oh, this is going to be easy. But it wasn't. I mean, getting to LA, I mean, I got Player 5150 within the first few months, but then after that really went almost a year until the next project. So yeah, so you know,
How
there's
did you like not get discouraged after that?
Oh, I did for
Really?
sure. Oh yeah, you know, everybody goes through those times. I mean, every actor.
It's tough hearing no, or you.
Yeah.
A lot of the time when you go into a casting, they may see 300 people. You don't know if you're number 3 out of those 300.
Yeah, it's hard, and especially, you know, you get a couple callbacks, you get far down the line, you keep hearing like, oh, they want a name, you know, these kinds of things, and so it's really hard, you know, and sitting there too. I think Beautiful Ohio didn't have its DVD release yet, so or any kind of release at all, so. You know, you're sitting there being like, no, but I did this thing and it's good and I think I'm good in it. And, you know, and nobody knows. And so you're just, and so it's hard, you know, but I think the most important thing is to keep a really, it sounds so cliche, but to keep a really good group of friends around you, to keep your circle kind of small and just keep this really good community around you who is encouraging you and telling you that, you know, oh, it's just that casting director, you know, or whatever. Or
it's easy, especially in LA, to have friends that are competitive because so many people are in the industry.
Yeah, and I think, you know, you got to kind of weed those people out a little bit. I don't know. I mean, competitive is a good thing, like I said, someone pushing you. But if it's competitive in the way where they're going to knock you down or you know, be negative about something, I mean, you know, you got to kind of think about that.
You should want your friend's success. I
Absolutely.
Why
Absolutely.
not?
Yeah. Why not? I mean, you know, if you're going to, you want them to root for you, you got to root for them too. Right. So, yeah. So I think I was definitely, there were times where I got discouraged.
Yeah.
But you know, your friends pick you back up and your family and stuff. And so it's important to, have those people close.
Yeah. So you had several guest roles on TV, and your breakout role, of course, is Jake in MTV's Awkward.
Yes.
You originally auditioned for the role of Maddie, and then your friend Bo ended up getting it. Well, you guys didn't know each other.
We
at
were
the
not
time.
friends. We were enemies.
Oh my gosh.
No, we weren't enemies.
But clearly, you guys had great on-screen chemistry. They saw that. You ended up filming the pilot. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, Awkward it's just like anything else. You know, you go on an audition. It's pilot season out here in LA, and so you're going on a million auditions. And you just start going through the process. Went through the whole process for the role of Maddie, switched everything up, went back through the process for Jake. So we're talking, you know, maybe a 2-month-long audition process or something. And
just a pilot.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, for just the pilot. And
screen tests after screen tests.
Screen tests, going down to MTV headquarters, you know, in like a big scary building, and like, oh my god. And it was kind of fun though because I met Molly Tarlov at the first time I screen tested for Maddie. She was there going for Sadie. And I mean, right away I was like, oh, that girl's got the part.
Yeah.
She was hilarious. Just sitting in the hallway, she's hilarious.
So sassy.
Yeah. And so it's kind of cool because me going for Maddie and then for Jake, I kind of got to watch the whole cast get cast. And I was just sitting there being like, oh, hopefully I get it too. Nikki, who plays Lacey, was also one of the early auditions.
Good friend of AfterBuzz.
Yeah. So met her. She's amazing. So it was cool. It was a cool experience. And then the final screen test for Jake, my agents told me, like, you're going to be the only guy there. Don't worry about it. Like, you know, if you don't get it, they're going back to the drawing board, but it's yours to lose, basically. It's a good way of putting it. Yeah, it's kind of like, okay, like, don't mess it up, basically. So I get there, and I'm sitting in the waiting room, and in walks this other guy. And he has like a short haircut. We both had kind of short haircuts at the time. And he comes in and he's like, of course he's Bo. So he's like, you know, like tall and like has broad shoulders and is like this good looking dude. And I'm like, what the heck? So he sits down and I kind of like just look at him and he kind of looks at me, and it's because I think knowing now they told him the same thing. So we're both just kind of like, what the heck? And then, you know, we don't really talk to each other. We're talking to other people around us because there were a lot of people that are auditioning for other roles. And eventually, I think either I said to him or he said to me, like, hey, what part are you going for? I was like, oh, I'm here for Jackson at the time.
Oh.
Jake's name changed. That's a little AfterBuzz tidbit for you. But I said, yeah, I'm here for Jackson. He goes, oh, I'm here for Maddie. And then we were like, oh, okay, cool.
Wasn't
All right.
there?
So,
They went through a lot of changes.
yeah.
It used to be called That Girl, and This Is Awkward.
Yeah, the show was called That Girl for the whole pilot, and a lot of the time leading up to it getting picked up. And then once it got picked up, I think it was called Kill Me Now.
What?
For a time. Yeah, it was called Kill Me Now.
I
It
can
was
see
called...
why that didn't make it to.
Yeah, what else was it called?
air.
It was called This Is Awkward, which was the worst title in the world to be like out in public with, because I remember we went to the first MTV Upfronts when they were still going through titles, and there would be the cast of Jersey Shore was there, so there's a lot of paparazzi around and things,
Of course.
and we would travel in the same vans because we're all this MTV family, and so they'd get out of the vans, get a bunch of paparazzi, we'd get out, people kind of be taking our photo, like, who are you guys? And so, they'd say, like, what do you guys do? We're like, oh, we're on a show. They're like, what's it called? We're like, This Is Awkward. They're like, yeah, but what's the show called? We're like, no. Okay, it's a show called, it's a show called This Is, so, and title was a mess.
Yeah.
So, but anyway,
They changed it.
they got to Awkward eventually, and we love it.
Were there any other changes that they made other than Jackson?
Oh, man. Well, Jackson so they had already shot the Teen Wolf pilot, and there's a character on Teen Wolf named Jackson. So they changed Jackson to Jake, so that's why that changed.
Gotcha.
What else? Ming's name was... Ooh, I'm going to get this wrong. Oh, I don't know. Keiko or Sachiko or something like that.
okay.
Something... I think she was like Japanese, but Jessica Liu is of Chinese descent, so they wanted to make that accurate, so they changed her name there. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's about it. I'm sure there's plenty more
Yeah.
that I can't think of right now. But
So you and Bo, of course, have an on-screen rivalry. You get to punch each other at work, and then off-screen, you guys are best friends.
Yeah.
Total bromance going on. I heard you guys take what is it?
It's a match made in heaven, Cathy. It's a
Houseboat
match.
trips.
Oh, yeah.
What is that? I don't know what that is, but
Wow.
it sounds awesome.
You do your research. I love it. Yeah, Bo and I, it's a match made in heaven, really. I've found my better half, and we're extremely happy together. This is just gonna go to such a weird place.
We need some love music going on.
No,
in
we're
the
just,
background.
this is what happens. He likes to wait till I do interviews where I go, yeah, he's my best friend, and then he'll do an interview and be like, yeah, Brett's okay.
Kind of stalks
That's
me.
what he likes to do. But I feel confident in saying we're best friends. We met at that audition that day. We actually have the same agent. So that agent who told us that there'd only be one guy there. Thanks, Tyler. But anyway, no, we love Tyler. But yeah, we're best friends. We hang out all the time. He's a snowboarder. I'm a snowboarder. He was born in Seattle. I was raised in Seattle. I mean, he was raised in Vancouver, which is very close.
Yeah.
So we're from the same area. We just have a lot of the same interests. So we root for the same sports teams. So it's just, like I said, match made in heaven.
Yeah.
And and these houseboat trips are they're scandalous.
What is
And
that?
they're,
So, do you go out on the ocean or where is it?
Oh no.
Okay.
No, if we went out on the ocean, we'd probably still be out on the ocean.
So it's basically like an RV, but
I do like the thought though of us
water-based.
getting a boat and going out to international waters and just that'd be kind of funny. But
legal implications.
we Lake Mead is outside of Las Vegas.
Okay.
And so we actually didn't go this year, which was very sad. But for like 3 or 4 years in a row, I had some friends who kind of started this trip actually the year before I met Bo. And they started this thing where you just get a bunch of friends together, rent a houseboat, spend a couple nights in Vegas, then drive out to the lake and, live on the lake for a couple of days. And it's awesome.
That's
you
cool.
take a bunch of friends. Yeah, it's great. These houseboats, you can get, I think the maximum is 12 people, but you can get more than that on there.
How many?
More. But it's a lot of fun, we have a good time with it. So we went like 2 or 3 years in a row. Like I said, we didn't get to go this year. We were actually shooting the show when the
okay.
weekend came up, that we go. I'm not going to say
So
the
people
weekend.
still went without you
But
guys?
all of our friends still went. Yeah.
Party continues.
Party continues without us, but hopefully we'll go this year.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a good tradition. Everyone should try it. Lake Mead. Maybe you'll see us there.
You're gonna have too many houseboats on the lake now, and then you won't even.
Well,
be able
we'll
to...
keep the weekend a secret.
Okay.
But I'm sure Bo probably tweets it, so it's probably not that big of a secret. But anyway.
So you guys, of course, as we mentioned, you have this on-screen rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys get confused, like off-screen and on-screen?
Start
or
punching
is it
each
just, like,
other?
You joke about it.
Oh, it's the second the cameras stop rolling, it's back to
Yeah.
buddy. I mean, I think it's really cool. It's fun to have such a close relationship with Bo and do those scenes together because, you know, when we're choreographing the fight or whatever, I mean, we trust each other. And so, you know, you're throwing punches around. It can, you know, and you got to shoot the next day. You can't have a real black eye.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to trust the other actor. And also it just makes the other scenes fun too. You know, already in season 3, we got to have some fun, like the barbecue scene, the kind of where they're daring each other back and forth, or the dancing scene where Jake is teaching Maddie to dance. And it makes all those scenes just really fun because we have too much fun together on set. Really, like
That's a good thing.
You shouldn't be allowed to have that much fun at work together. We just are
You
constantly
get paid to do it.
Yeah, we're constantly cracking each other up. You know, and so it hopefully comes across on the screen, and that's, you know, it's all part of the fun.
I think it does.
Yeah.
The second half of season 3 is about to air. October 22nd is when it comes back on MTV. And every season, the popularity of the show grows, the ratings grow. And I know that social media is actually a lot of what you attribute that to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Twitter
so.
especially.
You know, it's funny to talk about, but it's like back when Awkward first aired, back in the good old days, Twitter was kind of new. I mean, it was out. I had been on it for not very long, but it was sort of a new thing. It was sort of just catching on, I think. I don't know. And so, yeah, so I remember the show was airing and trying to get some sort of a following and going on Twitter. And I remember typing into the search bar, like, MTV Awkward or something, or reverse that.
Before we knew what hashtags were.
Yeah, exactly. And just looking for anyone who was mentioning that they were watching it or anything. And I had, like, I think I was just literally cutting and pasting the same tweet, like replying to that person and being like, hey, my name's Brett. I'm on that show. Thanks for watching.
Really?
Or something like that. And that just that simple. And it just sort of was snowballing. Everyone in the cast was doing sort of the same thing. And the whole, I mean, it fit perfectly into Twitter. The whole Team Jake, Team Maddie thing put a numeric sign in front of it, and
You
it
guys
was like
ended up
gold.
using that on the show as well.
Yeah,
I mean, that kind of started
it was
trending before.
You know, it's funny because it was something that the creator of the show, Lauren Unerick, and we were kind of joking about it during the pilot, while we were shooting the pilot, because I think she was kind of still trying to figure out where's this show going to go if it gets picked up, what are the storylines going to be, and so everyone was kind of throwing ideas around, and I think it was kind of clear that there would be some sort of a love triangle, and you know, Twilight, the whole Team Edward, Team Jacob thing, his name is Jake, so I thought it was funny just saying Team Jake and Team Maddie, and I sort of started saying it, Lauren started saying it, that kind of caught on within the cast, and then I think through the first season of the show, people took that to Twitter, and then Lauren just took it and ran with it for season 2 and kind of put it into the show with some of our students in the school chanting Team Jake, Team Maddie. It was kind of fun. So it's cool to see those things catch on. And she's so smart about taking those things that are happening in the world of the show and kind of bringing them to the show. I think there's a line that Tamara has in season 2, or maybe it was season 3, where she says, like, Jenna, you're just like a small cable show. You know, you don't have a budget or anything, but you're catching on with the right people. And it's kind of fun, like how she, you know, obviously she's talking about our show. And it's really fun that she does that.
The fans appreciate it.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
I think that's so cool, getting, I don't know, social media in general, just thinking back to when I was in high school or junior high, getting tweeted by a celebrity would have made my year, probably. So I think that's so cool to be able to interact with your fans like that now, like that we have that opportunity.
Yeah, it is really cool. I mean, I feel like I try to reply as much as possible. I mean, it's never enough, obviously. And, you know, I can't just sit there all day replying, but I try. I try, people. I try so hard. especially when the show is airing. It's so cool to get the real-time reaction to what's going on. I try to do no spoilers on there for everyone who watches overseas and things like that. Of course, they find it on the internet anyway and watch it kind of along with us. But it's just really cool. It's great. And like you said, I mean, yeah, it would have been amazing to sit there and talk to my favorite actors.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they don't talk back, you can still let them know what you think. And that's the other thing. Even if I'm not replying, I'm reading. I read it a lot. And all of our fans are like really positive.
You've gotten a lot of positive encouragement about the show, I know.
Yeah, everyone actually on Twitter is just like really nice and cool, you know? I hear a lot of like horror stories on Twitter, but don't start being mean, because you guys are all really cool. But I really like it. I like it a lot, and I like being able to interact with them. I've gotten really big into Instagram and stuff, and like just got back from a trip over to Europe and was like Instagramming all these like landmarks and things, and it was really fun. And I kind of just try to think of like what I would want to see if I was a fan of someone I was a fan of.
Think about your audience.
Yeah, I mean, I follow all my favorite sports people and my favorite actors, and so I kind of like see what they put out there, and I'm like, that's what I'd be interested in if I was a fan. So that's what I try to do. But anyway.
Speaking of traveling,
yes,
I know that before Awkward, you had never been out of the country.
No.
And then MTV sends you to the MTV Europe Music Awards or something like that.
Yes.
And so that was your first time out of the country. All
yeah,
thanks to MTV.
I had been to Canada growing up in Seattle. You know, your family, you drive across the border. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
I think, you didn't even need a passport or anything. So, but yeah, so MTV, they, sent me to the EMAs over in Frankfurt, Germany last year. And hopefully I can go again this year, MTV, if you're watching, hopefully. I think they're in Amsterdam this year. But yeah, it was amazing. It was an incredible experience. I mean, just out of this world, literally. I had an amazing time in Germany, and then I got to go to Warsaw, Poland, and go to MTV Warsaw.
Wow.
Or MTV Poland, basically, their headquarters over there.
That's so cool.
So cool. Amazing trip. They took really good care of me. The people in Poland are so great and warm and inviting, and it was just an amazing trip. We actually had a screening in a movie theater for fans of Awkward in Poland, and so to see it in a different country was just like really cool, and to hear their reaction. And it was an episode I had seen before, actually an episode I had seen with a live audience in America. And it was cool because they were reacting to different things than the American audiences did. And it was really, I don't know, it was just something really like tangible to like be there and actually see that. So it was really cool. And then after that, I went on my own to Vienna and Italy. Well, that trip, after Warsaw, I went kind of on my own to Vienna and Italy. And then this last trip that I just got back from was just my brother and I went on a trip to Europe together just for fun.
That's cool.
Because
how many, like 2 weeks-ish?
16 days or something like that, I think. And we went to Ireland and rented a car and drove on the wrong side of the road and also on the wrong side of the car, which was crazy, and drove all over Ireland, and then went to Barcelona, and then Venice and Florence and Rome, and then back home. So it was quite an adventure, but it was cool. It was cool to have some bro time.
That's awesome.
To get over there. So yeah.
Getting back to Awkward for a second, the second half of the season is about to premiere. We've heard that it is a little bit darker. So without giving too much away, is Jake going to have a darker side too?
Ooh, well, I don't know if Jake ever is going to have a darker side. I know,
he's not really that kind of...
It's not so much that he has a darker side, but I think we see more of his evolution. I think Jake is always kind of stuck in this place where he's a people pleaser, and he's that guy who you can always count on, who's never going to say no to anything, he's never going to say anything off color or offensive or offend anyone. But every once in a while, he kind of loses his mind, as we saw with the Maddie fight or whatever. And so I think in terms of his relationship with Tamara, that's going to kind of come up a little bit, because I think when you're the nice guy, you can kind of also become the doormat sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I think Jake stands up against that a little bit in the second half. So
the phrase is not "nice guys finish first."
No, it's definitely nice guys finish last. I mean, he's happy in his relationship with Tamara. I think he's found something that he needed in the end, he wasn't really treated very well by Jenna or by Maddie, and neither was Tamara with Ricky. So I think they've kind of found what they needed. But with any relationship comes some drama and some, bumps in the road and whatever. But we'll see what happens.
People always talk about how the characters are so incestual, and like there are a lot of storylines that are too mature for TV, and I'm like, that's very similar to what happened in high school. I don't know, it seems like very real, like your friend dates your ex or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, I think, when you're in high school or, when you're at this age, you're so just trying to find yourself with everything, with where you're going to go to college, what's going to be your career, your relationships, and in all these ways of finding yourself, you go through these different things, these relationships and your after school activities, things like that. But also because you're in high school and you're in this relatively small community, everything becomes so important and so huge and these things. So these relationships, when they say they're in love with each other, I mean, they are in love with each other.
You think
it
that,
is not just, and when you're in high school, that's what you think, I mean, you don't know what like adult love is, quote unquote, but you know what this is and what this feeling is, and this new feeling. And so so I think even though, I mean, Jake is only, he was kind of with Alyssa in the beginning, but I mean, I think that was kind of a carryover from junior high, and it was all very innocent. So really for Jake, he's only been with Jenna and Tamara. And so there's not much jumping around in there. And I think when he said that he loved Jenna, I mean, his feelings were really true. I think he loved her from the moment he saw her at that kind of pep rally in the pilot when she put her hand up. I mean, I think that was like love at first sight. And then with Tamara, it was kind of like just sort of having this moment of like being her knight in shining armor and having this moment of passion, which we didn't get to see them in Europe, but I think the relationship really evolved over there. And so it was kind of more of a gradual thing with Tamara. But when he says love, he is in love. So it's not just this lustful, like, jumping around. For Jake, anyway. I can't speak to Maddie. That guy. I mean, how many girls have come and gone that we've never seen again?
So you're Team Jake.
Yeah. It's funny, though, too, because Team Jake has evolved. Team Jake, Team Maddie, those terms, they've evolved into a different way as well, because I think a lot of fans on social media or whatever are still thinking it's meaning, I want Jake to be with Jenna. And it's like, no, I'm just pro Jake.
Yeah.
I'm on Jake's team with whatever he wants to do. I mean, Jenna goes to kind of a place where, well, anyway, I can't give it away, but
close, almost got.
It gets interesting. I mean, it gets to a place where I think she needs a lot of help from a lot of people, and so we'll see who kind of comes to her rescue.
And you guys are just about to start filming season 4, correct?
Yeah. Yes. I've heard that we supposedly maybe sometime November, December, January, something like that. We'll start up again. And
new showrunners as well. I know the creator is leaving to do another pilot for ABC.
Yeah.
So do you think they'll still keep Lauren's vision for the show?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that's the whole reason the show is a success is because of Lauren. I mean, Lauren and her team of writers, Aaron and everyone who's ever worked on the show. So I mean, I can't speak for them, but I don't see them completely, throwing out the baby, throwing the baby with the bath. The baby with the bathwater. Is that a weird term to use at that point?
I
don't know if it's right, but anyway,
we'll take it.
I don't see them just completely getting rid of everything. I mean, because the show, if it's not broke, but that being said, I think that they'll have their own things that they bring to the table and their own kind of twist on things, and so it'll be cool to see that. It'll be it'll be interesting to get kind of a fresh perspective on it and see where they take it. I have no idea where they're going to go with it. I mean, we haven't gotten any scripts or anything.
Keep the finale is a secret to you guys sometimes. Even.
Yeah, they have. Season 1, we were all locked out of the stage actually where we shoot, except for a few key crew members. Ashley, who plays Jenna, and Nikki, who plays Lacey. So if we all remember the season finale of what happened. But we didn't know what was up. The script was printed on red paper, and it had your name across it. Whoa. In case it got out, they knew who to go kill, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what they were gonna do.
Maybe
but
just
it was
kill off in a series.
It was very, very secretive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy.
yeah.
So you are a very busy guy. When you're not filming Awkward, you just filmed Born to Race, also with Bo.
Yes.
So was that a weird transition from Maddie and Jake to your new characters?
Yeah, it was. It was. It was. I think a little more challenging than we thought it would be at first. It was an interesting process too, because I remember Bo got his role in that movie and I had auditioned for a different role, and so we were kind of talking with each other like, well, okay, Bo got his role, so they're probably not going to put me in it. And then I got a call that was like, oh, you're going to be in it too. It's okay, great. So it wasn't like we were like a package deal or anything. It kind of happened separately, and then came the process of like, okay, how do we make these guys different? And it was just sort of him and I working together, you know, as sitting down as two actors with the script and breaking it down and figuring out moments where they'd be different. I mean, these characters are very different than Maddie and Jake anyway, so it was easy because it was a little built into the script. Whereas Jake and Maddie are rivals, or not even really anymore, but they were a little bit. These guys are like enemies. Like they can't stand each other.
Really?
They don't get along at all. They go behind each other's backs. I mean, they're really, really at each other's throats. So that's already built into the script, so it makes it a little easier to get into that world. But we got to drive fast cars, which was really cool.
You had to learn a lot of car terminology too.
Yeah.
I heard you in real life. You were in the Celebrity Grand Prix, got second place. So congratulations.
Yeah. I'm still beaming. I'm still beaming that.
How was that experience?
When that gets brought up. Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, we did Born to Race. They sent us to a couple days of a race car driving school, which is actually at the track where they practice for the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. So as we're going through our little school for the movie, they're telling us, oh, this is where these celebrities train and blah, blah, blah. And that race has been a dream of mine since I can remember. I remember watching it on TV growing up, seeing these celebrities in it, and just always wanting to do it. I've always been a fan of racing. I had an uncle who owned a go-kart track in southern Missouri that we used to go to when I was growing up. So we would take the karts out there and bang them around and race with family members and stuff. I mean, but pretty competitively. We've been thrown off many a go-kart track in Branson, Missouri. But so I've always kind of had this like racing bug. So doing the movie was awesome. And then I think because of doing the movie and because we could talk about that, it kind of like perked their ears up with the Toyota Grand Prix. And so I got to be in it, and with people that I've always looked up to. Adam Carolla is like one of my heroes, and he's like a car guy. And so it's just cool to be in it with all these like really cool people. And I kept telling everyone I was fast, and no one was listening to me. And I think they were kind of like, yeah, whatever. And I'd only been driving a stick shift since we shot the movie, which was only a couple months before. But you know,
you had to learn.
Oh yeah,
stick shift for
yeah.
the
Oh
movie?
yeah. Learned how to drive stick shift. Bo and I learned together. Basically, that was.
Oh my gosh.
That could have been shot for a whole special on the internet somewhere.
I learned when I was 15, and it was the scariest thing in my life. Like even
Yeah.
when you're on like a 5-degree incline,
the hills
you
are the
start
worst.
moving backwards, and then there's a car behind you. You freak out.
Yeah, well, luckily the race is like a roll. You're already going, so that's good.
Rolling
And there's
start.
no real hills, rolling start, so that makes it a little easier. But it was a lot of fun. It was really cool, and I don't know. I just was trying to pass people without running into them and making them mad at me, and I did, and it was fun. Started in 5th, finished 2nd, had the fastest lap time of
Wow.
any of the celebrity competitors.
That's
I hate
cool.
saying celebrity. Anyway,
Another
still not
movie-
comfortable with that word. Anyway.
Really? Why
No,
not?
not at all. I don't know, because I'm just a kid from Edmonds, Washington.
Humble,
Yeah,
modest.
yeah.
Cool. Good qualities to have. So another movie that you have coming up is Love and Mercy, where
Yes.
you play one of the Beach Boys,
Mhm.
Carl Wilson.
Yeah.
And I mean, I grew up loving the Beach Boys, but what was this experience like?
Yeah, I think I have a lot of family in, like I said, in Missouri, actually. And so growing up, my family, sometimes we would fly there, sometimes we would drive from Seattle to Missouri, take a road trip. It's a long drive, which I think I probably hated at the time, but now look back on with just like such fond memories of just, cool like diners in Montana and, cool like little moments with my family. But I remember that before one of the trips, my mom like got my brother and I Walkmen, like cassette players and like little headphones. And the tape that I got with that Walkman was Beach Boys' Endless Summer album. And so I was kind of like, who are these guys? And listened to it the whole way there, the whole way back, and was just a fan ever since. And so this came up, and again, just an audition, and actually was casted by the same casting director who did Beautiful Ohio. So a little bit of a callback to a long time ago. And it was cool. Just went in, read for him, sang for him, and, got the role. And working opposite Paul Dano and
John Cusack, Banks, the list goes on. We had Max Schneider in studio a couple months. Awesome kid.
Yeah, I mean, amazing cast, amazing subject matter. We were recording a scene of the Beach Boys recording in the recording studio. The recording studios we shot in are the real recording studios in Hollywood where the Beach Boys recorded their albums. The actual studios, the floors are the same. They took out all the new age equipment, put back in the original equipment from the period. So, I mean, standing there dressed up like them in the same room, filming a scene where you're singing out loud like their songs over a track, and then they yell cut, and then like the real Brian Wilson walks in and says hi to everyone. Like, just, I mean, can this get any better? I mean, it was it was amazing. It was an amazing experience.
Did you have to sing in it then?
We do. I don't know. It's not clear to me yet if they're really going to use our voices. Well, I mean, musical theater, come on. I mean, I think I can.
Okay.
I don't want to be, being modest again.
I'm curious. I want to hear it.
But yeah, I think I could sing, and we were belting it out. Yeah. I mean, and I think they'll probably end up using the Beach Boys voices though, because I'm not sure if all the guys in the cast could sing. Paul can. Paul Dano really can. I don't want to say. Anyway, there's some that might need a backing track.
Yeah.
But I mean, who better to do it than the Beach Boys?
Yeah. I heard also that the director wanted you guys to stay in character on set at all times. Yeah,
he really did. Bill Pohlad was the director, who's an amazing guy, really fantastic director. We had maybe a week of rehearsals leading up to it. And we all had a conversation, and he was just saying, guys, this is going to be very improvisational for some of it. Once you step on that set, I mean, I had a wig, the wardrobe. Once you're in that world, just be in character. You'll never know when we'll be filming you. And he was right. I mean, sometimes we'd just be standing around the microphone, horsing around with each other. The cast of the boys really gelled together very well, very quickly. We had a really great chemistry, I think. And sometimes we'd just be kind of horsing around with each other, and he'd say cut, and we're like, oh, what? We didn't even know you were filming. And they'd just be in the corner, like, shooting a very documentary style. Really, really cool style. I think it's going to be a really great movie. Some of the stuff that Paul was doing as Brian Wilson was incredible. And so I'm excited to see it all cut together. I'm so excited for everyone to see this movie. It's really going to be great. Hopefully,
awesome.
Knock on wood.
Knock on glass.
Knock on glass, yeah. Find some wood somewhere.
So last couple of questions before we wrap this up. I know you are a busy guy, so when you do get free time, what do you do?
Well, hanging out with that small group of friends like I was talking about. I'm an avid snowboarder. I'm constantly going to the mountain and back. Like when getting a car, it has to be 4-wheel drive.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Where do you go?
Mammoth.
Not local.
Mammoth. Well, Big Bear if I got to get there quick, but Mammoth Mountain is the best I've found in Southern California. So up there, Big Bear, sometimes Mountain High, even though they don't get a lot of snow. But that being said, I love Mountain High. So high Mountain High. But yeah, so as much as I can. But I grew up doing it in Seattle, so Stevens Pass and Crystal and Whistler up in Canada and everywhere. So in the winter, you'll find me snowboarding in my free time. But yeah, all kinds of stuff like that. Bo and I play golf together.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a long day because we're out there just swinging away so
18
much.
18 holes or just 9?
Oh, 18.
Oh.
18.
That's a whole...
It's a whole day, especially the way we play.
Yeah.
No, actually, Bo's very good at it. I'm a little hit and miss, but I have fun with it, though. Yeah, just try to stay busy. Try to stay active.
So since Awkward, you've started getting recognized in public, obviously.
Yep.
What's it like when you go back home?
It's great. I don't.
Does anyone treat you differently, or they're all
No.
just kind of like, oh?
No, I
Hey,
mean,
Brett.
I really try to take pride in the fact that I don't think I've changed. I don't know. I mean, you'd have to talk to those people if I have or not. But I'm going to say that I don't think that I have. And so I just hang out with all the same people that I did when I lived up there. You know, like I said, like I have a very small core group of friends, and I see them all, and you know, some of them are married now and like having kids, and like it's really cool to see and be part of their lives. And you know, so it's great to go back up there. And you know, a lot of times I'm up there around Christmas and go to the mall and do some shopping, and people recognize me and start yelling Jake, you know, across the hall or across the mall, you know, and it's fun though. You know, I sometimes I'll see people who I'll see them and I know they recognized me. I know you did because I see you look at me and then look away really quickly and then start whispering to your friend and all this kind of thing. And then I'll walk right past and you don't say anything. They don't say hi or anything.
Because they're nervous, or they don't want to. I used to get that a lot. Is I don't want to bug celebrities. Like I feel like they get so many people going up to them and harassing them that I feel.
I know, but sometimes I walk by and then I go like, oh, maybe I should turn around and go say hi, because then I feel
awkward.
weird. Yeah. So I don't know. Say a quick hello.
Yeah.
But it's fun. Every time someone says hi and you know that they're a fan of the show or they want to take a picture or whatever, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, I'll start to worry when that stops. You know, I love it, and yeah. So if you see me, say hi. Just a nice, quick little hi.
So moving forward, last question: what do you hope to accomplish in your career?
Well, just it's you know, it's gonna sound cliche or whatever, but just more of the same. Just to continue working, continue to do work that I believe in, and projects that I believe in, and that's really important to me. I mean, like the Beach Boys thing, it was an audition. You know, I was just hoping upon hope to get it, and then once I did, it's this amazing experience. But if I can just keep doing work like that, work that inspires me, work that I'm just such a fan of already, then I'll be in a good place. And I've just been so lucky to, I mean, when I auditioned for Awkward, I think I screen tested for maybe 4 or 5 pilots that pilot season.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was a good year. It was going well. But well, you don't get paid for the screen test. But anyway, but it was good to have that experience. But that being said, I mean, all of those pilots that ended up screen testing for and ended up not getting the roles, they didn't actually end up getting picked up, and Awkward did. And so that's what I mean. You need that dusting of luck every now and then. And so I've been just kind of lucky to get into these jobs that are not only just jobs and whatever, but they're also really cool jobs. And so hopefully you can just keep that string of luck going. So
cool. Well, this is our shameless plug section. So anything you want to promote from Awkward to your Twitter?
Yeah, just, follow me on Twitter. It's at BDAV, BDAVV, because I started that account when Twitter was everyone was using nicknames. Should have just been Brett Davern. Anyway, we'll get it handled someday. But that's on there. There's a Facebook fan page, Brett Davern, and then in parentheses official, because there's a couple out there that aren't official. Don't follow them.
Oh,
I don't know. And yeah, I don't know. Watch Love and Mercy when it comes out. Born to Race, Fast Track, all that kind of stuff. It's yeah.
And
It'll be
then
fun.
Awkward.
Oh, and Awkward, Tuesday, October 22nd, only on MTV.
Great. Well, Brett, thank you so much for joining us today. If you are a fan of Chatting with Cathy, please subscribe to us on iTunes. You can find us by just typing in AfterBuzz TV. You can follow me on Twitter at Catherine Kelly. Follow AfterBuzz TV on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. Again, thank you so much, Brett, for coming in. This was so much fun.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, come back in when you have your next movie come out.
Absolutely. Wait, what is it?
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
It was so funny. I still had a page of questions. I was like, yeah, no.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.